It's been a little while since I've played this game. Been a few weeks at this point. But I'm excited to get back into the swing of it. See, my hamlet isn't particularly well developed at this point. So I do need to focus a bit more on that than gathering money like I have been my past few runs. I tend to prefer to upgrade the guild hall and blacksmith first out of anything, especially reducing the costs of upgrading. I just prefer my runs to be more efficient than
Trouble yourself not with the cost of this crusade. Its noble end affords you broad tolerance in your choice of
have around 30,000 gold right now. Shockingly, I'm short of crests. Feels like that's often the most common quest item. This game does also tend to be a bit louder than many others, so hopefully my audio levels are sufficient. Now then. I do quite like this trinket for the man-at-arms. It forces him into an entirely different role than he normally serves. I don't know that I've ever seen this. I wonder if this is a new item. What skills would the Vestal have to take for that to work? Oh, I only have the one. I thought I must have had more Vestals. So, position 2 for bonus healing. That one doesn't work. This one doesn't work either. Okay, that works in position 2. You lose the targeted heal, which is the biggest loss, and you don't even get the self-heal either. So it's only group healing with this trinket. And it's increasing stress as well. I don't know that those trade-offs are necessarily worth it. It's a very interesting item. I guess I'll be going for a simpler treasure at this point. I don't know that I have a team that's ready to take on the Prophet right now. Simple grave robber satchel. I think I want to get the Knight's Crest, since I tend to use my Crusaders for their tankiness rather than anything else. Now then, to assemble a team, I'll take some of my level 0s on a very simple Warren's quest. The skill setup is fine. Nothing particularly interesting about it. I just enjoy the antiquarians. How completely weak and useless they are. They still serve their purpose. I tend to prefer the oddball type of characters, the ones that serve a very specific niche. Not much else. Should sort by level. Let's see. What does your positioning look like? Interesting. Breakthrough, but no Iron Swan. Not a particularly big fan of your toolkit. There's no one to dance her back to second position in this setup, so I think I'll have to leave it for now. Okay, I'll take you as a healer. And for my second position... If I remember correctly, she has a dancing ability that pushes your back one. Yes. Maybe she can work well with whatever this one is, the Hellion. But I need someone who has a good position 2 slot. Shadow Fade and Lunge. What does that disable for her? The healing? And that's it. I can live with that. The heal is minimally useful anyways. Now then, trinket time. Let's see. I don't know that I want to bring Dismas. But this one will be useful. Or will it, actually, since all of his heals are in dots. Except for his self-heal. Yes, I don't actually think that would be particularly useful. Interesting. Well then... I don't have very many good items. Oh, you can definitely use an accuracy boost, that is for certain. Now then... Scouting chance. Move resistance would also be very useful for you. How much speed are you losing by doing that? All of it. That doesn't matter particularly much then, since your speed is already fairly low. Now then. Grave Robber. Scouting chance. Swift Cloak. You don't need movement resistance since you can move yourself in combat. Now then. Debuff skills. She does have debuff skills, right? Yes. Blight resistance down. That's it. That's fine. I don't have much else that would be useful on her anyways. I don't believe she has any stuns. Ah, you can't stack. Well, I guess you only get the one trinket then. Now then, as for you, do you apply any debuffs? I don't think you do, no. Is there anything that increases bleed resistance? Not that I have, but that exists in the game. Well, I may as well give him this. He has no dodge anyways. And a little bit of protection to drop down his speed so that he can start healing characters after they've taken damage rather than beforehand. Oh, that is a bit of a dangerous game to play. Now then, I'm ready to move into the quest. I didn't actually realize that... No. I was just confused by seeing the shovel and the key already here. I assumed that something was amiss and my eyes were playing tricks on me and there was a bundle of firewood there. Now then, it's a short quest. I shouldn't need too much more than this. I have to save as much money as possible. I should upgrade my computer. I need a better one. Even the load times in this game are somewhat excessive. But at this point, there's not much I can do.
They breed quickly down there in the dark.
Scouting immediately.
But perhaps we can slay them even faster.
Unfortunate. I have to move to this room. Now then, who has trap disarm? Interesting, everyone's 50 except for Grave Robber. Who's guaranteed. do often forget what this man does. Target, transfer to sell. Alright, so you don't have much to do. I'll just use you to relieve some stress. Very unfortunate. Now you have protection, if I remember correctly, yes. I should have brought bleed in here. No matter. I'd like to take out the drummer as quickly as possible. I don't need any stress clogging up my party. Interesting. This is a map that applies a lot of bleeding. Well then. You have the best defenses. You can take the majority of the hits then. I was hopeful that I could kill him in one. Now then. What's been happening recently? I've also noticed that I gained a new follower somewhat recently on Gygus X, who is a orc Vtuber that I've seen on Twitter. Very nice to welcome him to the number among my subscribers, well, not subscribers, but followers. I'm a bit too familiar with the terminology of YouTube.
Continue the onslaught.
Where subscribers, the
them all.
Followers and members are the subscribers. Let's see if we can finish
Confidence
here.
surges as the enemy crumbles.
Simple enough. I guess I don't have his self-healing skill. Well, let's just cut straight through this armor then. With his excessively high attack damage. And let's just keep applying heals to him. I wonder, should I have a secondary healer here? These enemies are largely immune to blight, or highly resistant at the very least.
Their formation is broken.
At least they aren't resistant to
Maintain
knives.
the offensive.
Except for this one, of course. Very highly resistant to knives. Still my turn.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
I am
These nightmarish creatures can be felled.
slowly
They can be
nearing
beaten.
the... What is it? Ah, yes. I'm slowly nearing the 50 follower milestone on Twitter. Which is happening. I don't necessarily know that it's something that I'm particularly excited about, but it is happening.
Executed with impunity.
I was thinking of ways that I could potentially celebrate that occasion. My primary thought being to do some form of art raffle. However, given the quality of my artwork, it's dubious as to how interested anyone would realistically be about that. However,
As the fiend falls,
still a thought.
a faint hope blossoms.
didn't realize I had left the light so low. A map. Map that revealed nothing. Let's see. Interesting. Where did you get that from? Is that from a skill? No. I see. Just sort of happened. Huh? You do have your self-heal ability, correct? Yes, okay. Good. It'd be very worrying if he was stuck at this health level for the rest of the dungeon. Oh dear me. I have to take all of the offshoot paths.
Packs laden with loot are often low on supplies.
Oh,
if only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
This has been a very bleed-heavy dungeon. Let's actually try using this ability. Oh, it brings you all the way back. I see. I sort of hoped that it wouldn't go that far back. That wasn't a very high damaging crit, but it's still very annoying. Yes, and she has lost her healing. Well. Perhaps we can just chip a little bit of damage into this enemy. So we can hopefully be killed by a leper. Yes, that moved him very nicely into range. But just not quite enough. Ooh, lunge is a very high damaging attack. Plus 40%. I guess it better be to compensate for all of the movement that occurs. I could kill this guy in one shot. And I did. Interesting, I never realized how powerful lunge really was. Let's bring that bleed over here. What is a buff? Death blow resistance. Interesting. Okay, if I purge you, that should clear your corpse as well. Oh no, it didn't. Oh, it didn't kill him either, specifically. Well, no time for fiddling with buffs right now. Ah, that's a very unfortunate disease to get. That's going to have to be cured, or he's going to have to be let go. Either one works. Can I not use this? Is this not below 50% or 40% health? Very unfortunate. Well, let's just try and get him into the next wave. Hopefully this misses. I don't want to spend time using Shadow Fade. Huh. That's the happiest I've ever been to see a dodge. That has to be something to do with bleeding resistance. Yes. That is very unfortunate, given his occupation. of attempting to resist bleeding as much as possible.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
That wasn't even the main fight. This is... I don't have high hopes for this team. That's for certain. Well, I like this grave robber, so I'm going to attempt to preserve her as much as possible. I wonder how the, what is this? Cultist? Antiquarian. I wonder how the Antiquarian's taunt reacts with stealth. I can only this slot. I see. So does that mean that if they attempt to target her, then the attacks miss? Interesting. I don't know if that is a potential combo, but hopefully it doesn't react negatively. Now then, let's use you to try and kill the disease pig. Oh, you are in rough condition, my friend. Now then, let's try and get him in one. Unfortunately not. Ah, hello Gygus. Yes, I saw you on Twitter recently. It's nice to have you around. Unfortunately, the armor protects this pig from the lunge. Maybe I'll get a crit. Close enough. It's damaged enough that the leper can probably finish him. I guess we'll continue using the basic antiquarian knife attack to try and take out the wretch.
And now the true test.
Interesting.
Hold fast or expire.
Oh, it's almost counter-synergistic. How long do those minus healing debuffs last? It seemed like he barely healed himself at all. Well, I'll try and take out the chopper, reduce the amount of bleeding dots on my team as much as possible. I will actually use the antiquarian to attempt to fortify the... what is this name? Flagellant, I believe, as much as possible. And now I can... that was the lowest possible damage, I believe.
From becoming unwound.
Oh, you poor flagellant. You're just unable to stay away from death's door, aren't you? There's not much purpose to using his other skills. Oh dear. It looks like my internet may be having some troubles right now. Hopefully that doesn't come through on the stream. What a very unfortunate miss. That was also very unfortunate. This party is getting very stressed. Let's see. I don't believe that flagellants can be anything other than afflicted by sanity debuffs. I don't think there can be, what is it, Valorant or Hopeful or anything like that. Oh.
As life ebbs, terrible vistas of emptiness reveal themselves.
Hopefully you don't take any damage. Or else you're going to die. He's in very bad shape. Let's see, can Purge... Purge can do enough damage to kill this one. Ah, hello, Mitspun. Welcome. My flagellant is in very poor condition right now.
The ground quakes.
Please.
More blood soaks the soil, feeding the evil
Well,
therein.
I'm doing pretty well, Mitz. The air in my abode is rather dry right now, so my throat is moderately parched. Oh, that was an unfortunate loss. He was my main healer.
But a victory nonetheless.
He didn't have a very good skill set, so it's not much of a long-term loss. I believe I can cure this with medicinal herbs.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles.
And it's fairly good. I can use the food for impromptu healing. Am I run out of torches? No, I still have plenty. I wonder. Normally moving between rooms, it's fairly simple to light a torch between them. Okay, well, as we traveled from the hamlet, an eerie dread grew. We all felt it, but did our best to shrug it off. Sleep was difficult until Raven, one of my companions, passed me a bitter concoction. The most devout of us, Tharian, prayed softly for our safety. Superstitious, but well-intentioned, I suppose. I'm already falling asleep. Interesting. Well, I've read you, and you can be removed from my inventory. I probably should have remembered that there was a trap there. Very absent-minded.
A fortune, waiting to be spent.
I didn't need to bring nearly this many torches or food packets. Everyone's at nearly full health. That's unfortunate. I don't even have a bandage. How is it that I have every amenity except for bandages? How unusual to see a bunch of normal human enemies in this area. I've just realized the weakness of this party. There's no general AoE attacks. Normally that's a position taken up by the grave robber. She doesn't have the correct skills. This is pure DPS race at this point.
Weakened.
I believe that would be best on the leper. He can tank the most damage. He already has base protection from the boots. I do only have one combat encounter after this. So hopefully I can end it quickly. Even though I am one combatant short. Let's see. I should probably give the leper as much healing as possible, since he is going to be taking the brunt of damage. Although this poor antiquarian is sure taking a beating.
Grievous injury.
I might have to call this dungeon early. Especially now that I have someone with a insanity debuff. So, could I hew them to death? I could. As well as getting a bit of damage on the background. Oh, that was close. Very dangerous game. Yes. This is unfortunately a dungeon run I will not be able to complete. Oh. Good, he was on death's door there. Let's see. I should probably protect him once more. That's unfortunate. Can I not heal him either now? No, I can't. Let's give a little bit of bleeding to the back row. Or not bleeding, but blight. And hopefully that'll deal the killing blow once the dagger comes out of the grave robber. There we go. Perfect. I didn't even need the poison in the end. Time to collect my rewards.
Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
There's no point letting them all die.
Ignorance
Even
of
getting
your
the treasure
enemy
that way.
and of yourself will invariably lead to defeat.
Well, at the very least, this did open up a new slot. Oh, my game crashed. How wonderful. I wonder why that would be. I don't have any mods installed. This game shouldn't be that unstable. Well, rebooting anyways. Hopefully it remembered that. Yes, I did move on to week 10. I was on week 9 before. I wonder, is there a unusual event happening in town?
You will know the tragic extent of my failings.
It seems like it may have. I received a blueprint. Resurrection of our ramshackle hamlet has lured brave artisans and merchants who see potential in the vacant lots surrounding the town square. District buildings. Now, this is something that was added to the game far after I stopped playing. It's interesting. The hamlet is growing, and news of your presence is emboldening craftsmen to return. You may now construct all new buildings. They are expensive, but provide unique bonuses that may help you in your endeavors to cleanse the estate. Interesting. So, is that this? It is. Most district buildings require blueprints and heirlooms to build. Blueprints are dropped when bosses are killed. Interesting. I killed a boss already, but I didn't get a blueprint, I don't believe. Color of Madness districts require shards, which are earned from the farmstead. The mill is unique in that it requires memories. Memories are mostly dropped in the Endless Harvest quest by killing the Sleeper. Note, to gain access to all district buildings, you must purchase the Crimson Court DLC and the Color of Madness. I believe I have both of those. I definitely have the Crimson Court because the blood is still around. See the mill? Ah. These are very interesting rewards. Interesting. Gem inventory stacking increased. Increased the buffs of holy water. Laudanum. I'm not sure what that is. Perhaps it's something that I have yet to encounter. Ah, and it's the... because the... what is it? The shards are based on the color out of space. The tainted well is in reference to the well itself. That's amusing. And the orchard. The disease resist buff. Interesting. Yes, I suppose that laudanum is something that I have yet to encounter. The Red Hook. Ah. Red Hook is the studio that developed this game. A monument with no purpose. Interesting. Yes, it's very expensive. That is amusing. Bank. Interest on saved gold. Cartographer's camp. Torchlight is more beneficial. Granary. Less 15% healing when eating. And free food. Puppet theater. Idle stress relief. That could be idle spelled in a different way as well, I suppose, if it's a theater. Sanguine Vintners, I assume this is... Yes, it's for the Crimson Court. House of the Yellow Hand. Interesting, so these improve specific units as well. Athusneum. Athenium. Athenaeum? I suppose my Greek pronunciation is probably not up to snuff. I'm assuming that's Greek as well. It looks like it. Performance Hall, Outsider's Bonfire. 2 additional respite points. Ah, for camping. I see. Oh, those are all very interesting. I guess it adds an aspect of permanent buffs to the game as well, which I don't believe this game had before. I should also remove the members from my party. So that way things will be accurately sorted. Now then, let's get everyone stress relief. You as well. Oh, no, not the sanitarium. I don't have anyone that needs diseases cleansed anymore. Oh man, what did I retrieve? I can improve
Fan the flames,
only ever so slightly.
We are raising an army.
I would like to get the price down as much as possible, so that requires deeds and crests. I will be specifically targeting those in this next mission then. Ooh. I would like that very much. Do I have the team strong enough to deal with the Sonorous Prophet? Potentially. I can see this team working. So if I take a Vestalt, a Musketeer, a Crusader, and a Highwayman, this could work out fairly well. Let's see. Let's move Dismas back to his standard skills. There we are. Instead of the dancing setup that I had him on earlier. That way, our Crusader can take full advantage of his front line, as well as a secondary setup and 2 long-range opponents. Because if I remember correctly, the Prophet is hidden behind several pews that take a long time to destroy. So this setup seems like it has a very high chance of success. Now then, let's begin. So you have no healing skills, so increased melee is fine. Also, let's take this for protection. Your speed isn't particularly important. Now then, Highwayman. So you don't have too much melee options anyways. So this seems fairly useful for you. We're going to take the healing head, as well as, let's see, stun skill chance, perhaps? We do have a stunning skill. Seems like the only thing that's even a little bit beneficial for you at this point. Now then. Manslayer. Interesting. So she may actually be very useful. I believe the Prophet counts as a man-type enemy. So if we do front-load her with damaging abilities, that should be fine. And I'll give her the Scouting Stone. I don't know that she has a particularly good scouting chance, but there's always hope. Well then. I know I stated previously that I was going to go based on needed improvement materials, but this is a good enough trinket that I think it's worth it. Now then. Everything's all set up. Time to provision. This is a long dungeon, so I'm going to need to get the full retinue of items. 8 torches should be sufficient. I do wish you could see the layout of the area that you're going to go to, although perhaps that would make things too easy. Here we are. Bring a shovel. Let's see, it is a long dungeon, and I do have scouting chance up, so I may want to bring the skeleton key, just on the off chance that I run into a secret room. Right.
Excavations beneath the manor were well underway when a particularly ragged indigent arrived in the hamlet. This filthy, toothless miscreant boasted an uncanny knowledge of my ambitions and prognosticated publicly that, left unchecked, I would soon unleash doom upon the world. The echoes of his mindless tittering reverberate maddeningly.
Wade June just has a perfect voice. Something that I wish I was capable of emulating. It's, interestingly, this isn't the only place where Wade June discusses eldritch abominations and the like. Not many people are aware of this.
Cleansed from our lands.
But if you do like this man's voice, and I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about the narrator of this game, then he narrates H.P. Lovecraft audiobooks. And they're very good. I've listened to, I believe, all of them. All of the collections that he has done.
As victories mount, so
It's
too
very
will
interesting to
resistance.
listen to. Of course, there are some people who consider Lovecraft's writings to be a bit offensive and outdated, but as long as you view them as a product of their time from
Annihilated.
a man who was a not very nice person, shall I say? And it's a very enjoyable read. I think I just want to kill as best possible. See, I thought some of her skills did bonus damage to unholy enemies, but I guess not. Let's see if I can't stun the wine thrower. I cannot. Fortunately, this dungeon doesn't seem to be posing too much trouble for me. Oh Why are your skills completely out of order? So I thought Zealous Accusation did bonus damage to unholy enemies. Is it just Smite? Huh, interesting. Yeah. I don't need to be using the Accusation anyways. Alright, I would prefer to take as little stress damage as possible. I keep missing the wine thrower. Oh, finally you can fulfill your actual purpose, Vestal. There's healing to be done.
Surges as the enemy crumbles.
Hold on. Finally landed a single shot on him. Not that it helped particularly much. He still got another wine throw out. Oh. This is one nimble foe.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
First I shall check my map. No scouting. I'm going to attempt to preserve my key. Unfortunately, I got nothing out of it. Oh.
Even the cold stone seems
Hopefully
bent
I
on preventing
don't run
passage.
into any more rubble, or I'm going to need another shovel. But my light is fairly bright at this point. I'm not getting any scouting. And it looks like I may have to clear the entirety of this dungeon before I make it to the boss. That thing can deal high stress damage, so I'm going to avoid the Iron Maiden. It doesn't seem like there are going to be any particularly good camping spots. Very unfortunate. Well, I'll keep the light low going into the next room. It may potentially be deserted. Although maybe I should camp around here. I don't know what buffs my units could provide right now. But
Another one falls.
if any of them are 3 battle duration, then I would definitely want to activate them closer to the actual boss. In which case it would be best to save my camp until later.
Be gone, fiend.
Let's see if you can bleed, spider.
The slow death. Unforeseen.
Definitely can.
Unforgiving.
Let's see. What does this potentially do? Give diseases, I'm fairly certain. Interesting. Well, let's hope you don't get diseased. Nothing but ashes. How interesting. I have not run into an enemy in the past few
Glittering gold,
rooms.
trinkets and baubles. Paid for in blood.
Plenty of hallway battles.
Their formation is
With
broken.
very thankfully weak
Maintain the
enemies.
offensive.
Oh, dear. Very unfortunate
Press
disease
this
there.
advantage. Give them no quarter.
Very
Remind
simple
yourself that
combats so
overconfidence is
far.
a slow and insidious killer.
Nothing particularly exciting, although I suppose I should be thankful. Oh. Human enemies. Now then. Let's give you a good buff. Right at the start of the fight. Please don't move. There we go. Oh. There's some heavy damage in this fight. Let's get rid of the main culprit. And now I can group heal in peace.
Sedated.
And you can focus on dealing damage to the big guy. As long as I get rid of this one.
Continue the onslaught.
And I'm only taking
Destroy them all.
various ranged damage from this enemy. Small amounts of ranged damage. There we go. And now I can kill him at any time, while continuing to group heal my party. I guess that's the price you pay for having extra stress damage versus humans. Little bits of chip stress sneak through the cracks. Let's see if we can open a vein.
Masterfully executed.
Now, if we just leave him alone, he'll die eventually. Oh, that's not quite how combat works.
The bigger the beast, the greater the
No,
glory.
let's just kill him with a swing of the sword, I guess. We ended that fight almost no
this
worse for
momentum.
wear.
Push on
And
to
we
the
got
task's
another
end.
key. Well, now I can just use these with impunity. This team isn't going to have any food for their camping if they keep suffering random hunger strikes. Oh, a place to use my key. Alright, same setup.
Destroyed.
A good thing I didn't use his buffing ability, or else that would have been a wasted crit. Now then, I can just use her self-healing damage ability. Oh. Is my stream dropping frames? No? It looks like it's back to normal. I think that's the most useful that skill has ever been. Again, now with only a singular point of damage, healing can be far more efficient than normal. And I can just press left click and win the game. Set everyone to their primary damage skills and beat the big man, the bloodletter. And even suffer damage for that.
Monstrous size has no intrinsic merit, unless inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue.
That's quite potentially one of my favorite voice lines from this game. Inordinate exsanguination. I feel like Wade June probably inspired many of my vocal mannerisms. Oh, finally, a scout. And it was only a single room scout as well. Ah. I didn't actually notice that I'd gotten more food. How fortunate. Now then. I guess I'll simply use the key here, since I don't see myself running into a hidden room at any point. Let's see. What do I not need? For 375 gold? See, I don't particularly even like the Jester that much, so I will get rid of that Jester trinket that I picked up along the way. This is one solidly built party, I must say. And then let's get rid of the stressors as quickly as possible.
Precision and power.
Dismas, you have been landing non-stop criticals. There we go. I think that's the first stun that our Vestal has successfully pulled off, despite the fact that she has a stun up item. This is going surprisingly well. I believe Grape Shot should just finish off the stressor, if it doesn't miss. There's not much to heal right now, so I may as well try and kill with the Vesta, which I succeeded.
The wounds
Very
of
fortunate.
war can be healed,
Now,
but never hidden.
good critical. Let's see, perhaps the Zealous Accusation can... Well, it can potentially kill both of them, but I'm not going to cross my fingers. Came very close, though. Surprisingly close. Right. Ah. Wonderful. The Vestal got to move before anyone else, which means I don't have to attempt to prolong this fight any longer than necessary.
These nightmarish creatures
I
can be
already
felled. They
have
can
one
be
of
beaten.
those, and equipped to my current Highwayman notes. Nobody is infected yet. I may as well camp now.
Circle in the dark. The battle may yet be
Don't
won.
imagine I'll run into any issues. Now then. I think I may want to use both of these. Sanctuary. Chant. Yes, I think I might just want pure damage from Dismas. Marching plan. Triage. Yes, I will take both of these. Ah, it did actually use them both in quick succession. I assumed that I'd missed something. Now then, may as well reduce stress as much as possible so that I don't have to pay for it when time comes. What are both of their stress levels like? 7 and 13. Well, may as well de-stress her then. Yes, that's not very much bleed damage. Alright. And now I can go into the boss with a very strong Dismas.
The light, the promise of
Ah,
safety.
and I can also check this. Let's see, what would purify a sarcophagus? Holy water, potentially? May as well check. No effect. No. No point anyways. Now hopefully this is the boss. He's normally at the end of the longest hallway. I suppose there's a chance that he could be all the way back here. Very unfortunate. Alright, you have the no stress. Ah. Second wind. That probably won't ever come into play, but It's nice to have, I guess. Very unfortunate. Well, she'll be able to heal it up fine. Hopefully I'll be able to kill all of these in one shot with each of my 3 fighters. Could I even kill them in 2? I could, potentially. They don't actually leave corpses, so she won't be able to hit them. But I believe she has a random shot that can hit the first row. So, yes, the sidearm. There we go. It was a very,
Success so
interesting
clearly
looking
in
pose
view.
that she struck when she shot
Or
the
is it
sidearm. I
merely
quite liked
a
that.
trick of the light?
Now then, pull torchlight into the boss. Yes,
The
here we are.
madman hides there, behind the pews, spouting his mindless drivel.
Perhaps I should have brought a dancing party. I forgot that his primary mechanic is forewarned
A singular
damage
strike.
points. And Dismas is my best fighter. So hopefully things won't turn out too negatively. I also apologize for that coughing just there.
Compassion is a rarity in the fever pitch of
Very,
battle.
very unprofessional. Okay. I believe I just want him to start breaking pews. Oh, good dodge. That's also fine. I don't particularly mind if she takes damage. I would prefer if my musketeer took damage, in all honesty. Because she just recently received that buff. And we can just start pouring damage into him. There's no healing that needs to go around either, so I can even heal or damage with my Vestal. This fight is not particularly high damage. From him, at the very least. Poor man keeps getting unlucky with these dodges. Well, I'll just keep pouring damage into him. This is one unlucky enemy. I'm starting to feel rather sorry for him. Huh. At least I can start attempting
As the light
stunning
gains
strikes.
purchase, spirits are lifted.
I've just realized he has
and
zero
purpose is
resistance
made
to
clear.
bleeds and blights. There we go. That's the damage I was expecting. Oh, and there's the damage that I had been hoping for from my team. You'll make it through these eventually, don't you worry. Well then. What do I work on? I think I just used this. Dismas isn't in too much danger. His basic attacking abilities do very little damage. But now that he has a blight, that's turning into somewhat of a problem. Good damage. So hopefully I'll be able to kill him in really short order.
And now the true test. Hold fast or expire.
There was the target that I wanted you to hit all along. But fortunately, it seems like you'll be dead before that rubble manages to fall.
In life, his claims to recognition were dubious at best. In death, they are ridiculous. Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
That's fairly useful. Being able to give a leper extended accuracy. I believe I already have a lock of patience as well, and flat virtue chance is not a very useful item. I'm very pleased with this sacred scroll that we retrieved. Ah, and there's my first level 3 soldier. I guess it's time for you to sit on the sidelines until we can get more people up to your level.
A fresh irritant to some. A sanguine memory to me.
Having mosquitoes constantly be the ongoing event is fairly annoying. I feel like it's actually my least favorite part of the Crimson Court DLC. I can handle the blood. Just get rid of the infected soldiers. I don't think I've yet to even upgrade anyone's weapons. I'm just reducing the cost of doing so. Now then. I don't particularly want any of these. Okay, I don't believe I... Yes, I have not a single duplicate right now. I believe. Yes. Oh. I don't particularly need any extras at this point. No one's dying or near death. Or too far gone beyond repair. Let's see. Ooh. Why does the Cove have an advanced enemy when it's still level 0? Oh, my cat has arrived. Welcome back. Hopefully that didn't mess with my face too much. Now then, back to business. I believe I was interested in portraits and crests so that I can improve the blacksmith. Oh no, deeds. Let's see, which map contains deeds? Is it the Cove? No, it's not. Where are the deeds? Huh. I guess there's no deed rewards right now. Well then, I may as well improve the guild at that way. So then portraits it is. This is the only one that offers a portrait reward out of the standard quests. I should probably be hunting otherwhere than the ruins, though. It's already a very high level. I want to spread out the experience. Disease resist. Fairly useless. Move resist and move skill check. I don't particularly like any of those. I don't have anyone strong enough for a level 3. This current team could potentially take on that kind of mission, but I feel like they wouldn't make it through alive. Ah, and this is the Bleeding Heavy dungeon with the fish people. I don't know that I have the setup to take care of that. Oh. I think I'll visit the Weald. I want to bring someone with disease cures along. Yes, I'll bring Dismas, so that I can cure his diseases. What have you? Lethargy minus speed. Not particularly pressing to remove. Ah, yes. The Black Plague. Interesting that they don't mimic the Black Plague's main characteristic. Ah, oh, GSOC. Welcome to the stream. Yes, Dismas is particularly useful. I attempt to keep him around as long as possible. Let's see, do I still have... No. Ah, there's Rayned. Yes, I do still have Dismas and Rayned. So let's see, I think I'll just get the standard party in. Go to the Weald. I don't even have to reset trinkets too much. Just give you your highest priority trinket, and I can give you Sacred Scroll. So now you are a healing monster. And you... I thought I had gotten a light skill chance. There we are. High poison. High healing. Good damage. And heavy armor. Very good setup. Ah, right, of course. Oh, I can just bring on Reynaud then. And have the true starting party. Say short quest. Shouldn't need too much more food than 8. Maybe 5 torches. I don't expect to run into any secret rooms, so I shan't bring a skeleton key. Let's see, the Weald, I believe, has a higher chance of spawning roadblocks, so 1 shovel should be sufficient. Let's see.
Corruption has soaked the soil, sapping all good life from these groves.
This is a very unfortunate map spawn.
Evil.
Looks like I may need more torches than I originally thought.
Finding the stuff is only the first test.
Journal page.
Now it must be carried home.
Trampled journal, entry 3 of 4. Hewell, my dear friend, exemplary warrior, a survivor of the King's Wars and many sorties in these halls, met an ignoble end. We were weary, Hewell and I, as we searched for sanctuary. Weariness, it appears, has a murderous streak. It blinded him to the mechanism that tripped the spikes which eviscerated him. I held him as his essence slipped away, another giant fallen in our mad pursuit. I am alone now, weary but unbowed. I press on. I never particularly paid too much attention to the journal entries. Up until this point, at the very least. As a whole, I believe anti-venom. I know the one with spider webs you're supposed to use the bandage on, I believe. But I think this one uses anti-venom. I'll test it. Yes, it does.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
Trinket that I will probably never use. Yes, no hidden rooms, as I thought. But plenty of obstacles. Fortunately, I have the tools to deal with it, but...
Nature herself.
If I had not brought a shovel.
Corruption, malformed with misintent.
Single pouch of 100 gold. Ectoplasms. I'm not a fan of them. I assume they're still as difficult as they have always been. I don't imagine that they would reduce their annoying tendencies. They're fairly resistant to blight, but you aren't. Well, hopefully I can kill these before they start to duplicate. Ah, dear. Most unfortunate. Ah. Yes, that is the level of healing that I can now perform.
Back to the pit.
Now, let's kill these ectoplasms quickly before they begin to multiply. Ah,
How quickly
slime rather than cytokinesis. However, it looks like I'm going to end this fight with Dismas fairly badly damaged. I can always try for a heal, but I believe, yes, the bleeding will kill her before I can get the chance.
Our life is taken.
A chest. Since that last scouting didn't reveal any... What is it? Didn't reveal any secret rooms, I feel confident using my key on this chest.
Executed with impunity.
This is unfortunate. I think giving Dismas a heal is more useful. That is... Those are very high healing numbers that are not necessary at this point in the game. Wow.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
There we go. Simple enough, clear.
Success.
Oh, I
so
didn't bring a
clearly
key, right. I
in view.
very specifically
Or
decided
is
not
it
to.
merely a trick of the light?
Moving on.
Packs laden
25
with
gold.
loot
How
are often low on supplies.
incredibly pointless. Oh, I've just realized that I'm not camping anyways. How fairly pointless. I almost forgot about this trap. Oh, why are you so stressed? I guess your trinket does increase stress, but not quite as much as the Vestals, whose stress is still high, but not nearly as high as I would have expected by this point. These enemies. Very irritating. Well, let's try and stun. Ineffectually, unfortunately. Alright, time to attempt to eradicate the artillery as quickly as possible. As well as any
Another
dots coming from that
cleansed
dog.
from our lands.
Unfortunate that they had to use their escape pods. Oh, you are in large amounts of danger, Dismas. You just keep being targeted by enemies. So that one will die anyways. May as well start working on the other high protection enemies. Let's see. 5 points of bleed damage. There we are. So that one will die within the next few turns as well. There, my Vestal can focus on healing the party.
Death by inches.
And I can focus on dealing with this hunk of wood. I guess it's actually fungus piloting a dead human's corpse. It's not really wood. It is capable of bleeding after all. 2 points of healing? That's not what I've come to expect. Although I do suppose that her healing skills are still very low level. Plus speed and dodge. Interesting. That's only beneficial. I suppose it is a class-specific item. To be expected. Oh, that was it. Oh. I'm going to return to the hamlet. That was the end of a branch.
The agents of pestilence will yet
I don't
be
necessarily
driven
want to
from our
walk
woods.
back all the way through. I got very little treasure out of it. And now Dismas is level 3. Oh. It's going to be a short while before I'm able to
A fresh
properly make
irritant
use of him.
to some, a sanguine memory to me.
Now then, let's clear the party so that I can accurately gauge how much stress everyone has. May as well reduce you. That's all I particularly need. Now then. I can get a new flagellant to replace the one that I lost earlier. I don't believe I have another one. No, I don't. Welcome aboard.
There is power in the blood for those with the
Now,
fortitude
what
to
skills
pay
do
the
you
price.
have? The self-heal. And the high bleed stacking skills as well. Interesting. So he's split halfway. I suppose he could be useful without changing his skills. May as well use some of these busts that I've been accumulating. Where are they most beneficial? The stagecoach? No. I've collected so many busts. There we are, there for the Abbey. Well, may as well just baseline improve the place.
A man in a robe, claiming communion with the divine.
Yes. I'll reduce my crests to near 0, but no real harm in it. I don't have any amount of any other item. I guess it's just choosing places to become more dangerous at random now. Ah, interesting. I don't know that I have seen this item before. I wonder, does the minus to bleed skill chance also apply to the bleeds he attempts to inflict upon himself? If so, that is a very useful item. I may go for that one. Even though the rewards are busts. Huh. Going for the deed might not be bad. Plus accuracy and ranged skills? Not particularly useful of an item. Book of Holiness. Minus stress. Minus party surprise. Yes, nothing particularly sticks out to me except for this flagellant collar, and it also triggers a useful town event as well. So I may just want to go for this one. Yes, good enough. Now then, we can take some lower level units into this fight. So perhaps I will give the flagellant a shot. See if he can acquire his own items. See, and this is the ruins, so primarily skeletons on this map, I believe. Meaning that the Houndmaster will be largely pointless. I think I'll bring along a shield breaker. Let's see, this is a medium dungeon, so I will actually have to deal with the snakes in her dreams. So I'll want a good healer. And by good healer, I of course mean an inconsistent healer. Who for the final spot? Perhaps a grave robber? Perhaps. That is not what I meant to select. I could bring along the antiquarian. I do love treasures. But bringing her into the snake pit, potentially not the best option. I'll do it anyways. Then let's get the trinkets all together. You will be our primary damage dealer, so I'm going to give you glass cannon stats. But you can get some protection from these boots. Misses the spot. Guilty conscience. Interesting. I may actually look into upgrading their skills before I head out. Let's see, why don't I just give you some disease resistance? There's nothing particularly useful about your skill set that can be improved. Let's just give you the head as well. Or, that may be better on the occultist. Perhaps I'll give you speed. And let you apply your healing dots quicker. And let you hit death's door from bleeding so that you can heal yourself up before anyone has the chance to hit them themselves. That seems useful. Alright. Now, healing skills. Yes, very useful. Are there eldritch enemies in this area? I don't believe there are many. Oh, your dodge is actually particularly high. So I don't really want to give you anything that reduces it. Same with speed. Oh. You can take the Eldritch Incense just in case. Now, you can be the utility tool. Plus debuff skill, why not? Alright. Now then, let's see about improving things. Everyone should be up at the top, yes. Now then, into the blacksmith. I cannot upgrade them yet. Have I? I haven't improved either of them to the point where they can improve their equipment. I've just made it cheaper to do so. Well then. That should probably be my next goal. Hopefully this map doesn't pose too much difficulty. think this will likely also be my final dungeon of the day. Ah, I didn't even notice it had finished loading.
Be consecrated? Can the fallen find rest?
Curio, room treasure, curio. No altars yet.
Wealth beyond measure.
Another journal
Awarded to the
page.
brave and the
Trampled
foolhardy
journal,
alike.
1 out of 4. Interesting. Sebastian's watch was his last. We were jolted during our evening's repast. Interesting. I've not heard that word used in that situation. We were jolted during our evening's repast, the best we could make in those murky halls of our once great house. From the roar and flash of black powder, we dropped our bowls and hurried to him. All we could find was a spent pistol and a trail of blood leading into a maze of shadows. We press on. Now then, antiquarian? No. Why do you have minus dodge, antiquarian? What does quest mean? Hard noggin. Why have you gotten a quest that reduces your dodge? Is it because you're holding the consecrated essence? Huh. I've not seen that debuff before. Well, who has the best trap disarming? I would have thought it would be the antiquarian.
Watch your step.
But it is actually the occultist who failed. Well, the occultist is tied with the shield bearer, but still. Let's see. I believe I must move to this room just to check. Just in case. Alright. Let's bring you to the front lines. See how you like it up here. Well, aren't you useless? This is looking to be a unsuited team for this environment. Let's just try killing.
To the pit.
Without working on anything too fancy. I do hope to get that item soon, so that I don't have to deal with him bleeding so much. Ah, that's more healing than I bargained for. Let's try and...
Continue the onslaught.
I thought that was an
Destroy
AoE attack.
them all.
May as well fight onwards. Oh, perfect. You moved him back into position for me. Very simple fight. Oh. I'm not at the point in the game where I need 30 healing. These characters are level 1. And that's a bit over the top. Does this deal any base damage, or does it only bleed? It only bleeds. Well then. Yes, there's no point in trying to make a skeleton bleed. Oh, interesting. The automatic healing can crit. Very interesting. Well, may as well curse you a little bit.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
No, I will save the key for now. Oh, fortunate resist then. Well, there is nothing here. But this hallway is unscouted. There could be a quest. So I may as well check it. And then turn around at the end.
Mechanical
Fruitless.
hazards
There's
possessed
nothing
by
here.
evil intent.
It is very unnerving to walk backwards in this game. The screen moves in so close. But I don't believe that there is any way to encounter enemies while walking backwards. Continue moving onwards. Ah, rubble.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
Very fortunate. I'm going to run out of torches. Here we are. Yes, I really should not have brought a flagellant into this sort of environment. Oh, I remember your abyssal artillery being far stronger. Oh well. That's the best you can do, so be it.
As the fiend falls,
Good job, Antiquarian. I didn't actually expect you to be able to finish that. Oh, this poor flagellant. He's just not useful and a constant target of attacks. Oh. May as well. Get himself healed. I guess I will... Can't even keep attempting to apply abyssal artillery. Why is it that you keep focusing on my healers and nobody else?
executed
very
with
rude.
impunity.
Oh, I guess I'll just use simple healing from the Antiquarian. Although the main benefit is the bleed resistance. Especially for the flagellant. His healing received is still low and I don't want to decrease it any further. So might as well apply heal over time to the occultist. And give you even more bleeding
Wounds of war
resistance.
can be healed, but never hidden.
I would have liked a 30 there. Well, there's no point in attempting to bleed anything. There we are, that's a respectable heal.
Pitch of battle.
Now,
Their formation is broken.
the Antiquarian
Maintain
has
the offensive.
finished off many of these enemies. It's been far more helpful in the damage category than I would have expected. And then, let's pull you forwards. Get you in a range uncomfortably close to the rest of my team. Because I believe he can only make rushed shots from this position. Not that it matters, he's dead anyways. Yes. There's a whole lot of healing going on in that fight. Alright. Oh. Oh, I've only got one quest location after this next room. Very useful. Did that? No, it didn't remove her dodge at all. Oh. Well, you're going to need a lot of healing at the start of next combat. See, I don't want to reduce any potential healing he would receive. Hopefully he doesn't hit Death's Door. Oh, but it looks like he might just... Yes. Well... As long as I get to heal him before his next turn comes around. I would have liked a bit better than that, but... Not much you can do. Okay.
Be gone, fiend.
Remove the cup thrower. I don't need any more stress. Yeah, I just have 3 healers cycling heals between themselves and 1 damage dealer. Well then.
Confusion, nerves, and panic.
I don't mind the debuff particularly much now that he is sufficiently high health. That's unfortunately low damage. Oh, the Antiquarian will probably be able to finish it off anyways. Good job. This is one ruthless Antiquarian. Oh. Time to apply more restoration. You're just going to bleed to death. No, I may as well try and apply a heal early on. That's fine. Now, I can kill this enemy. And I can start the next fight with the Flagellant at...
so clearly in view. Or is it merely a
for
trick of the
5
light?
health. Yes. Or Flagellant. Oh, another journal page. Oh, the final trampled journal page. I am become vengeance. All cultists will feel my mace. Brigands fear my roar. I am outnumbered, 'tis true. I am starved and half mad. But as long as there is breath in my body, I will press on. I will wreak unbearable agony on those who would seek to despoil my great manse. And now they come. I douse my torch. I do not fear the darkness. This is my house, and woe to the uninvited. These have some pretty neat stories in them. Another scout. I thought there was going to be a fight in this room as well. I guess I wasn't paying close enough attention. But no quest locations. Alright, Flagellant, are you ready to start this next fight with almost no health? Ah, the bleed stacks must have fallen off. Well, at least you can actually deal damage in this fight.
Another abomination cleansed from our lands.
Ah, and immediately back up to full. Thank you, occultist. That's the reason I brought you. I hoped I could get lucky with that impale. But at least now they're all sufficiently low enough health that the occultist can simply kill them by herself. Might as well continue dealing damage. He's actually useful for once. May as well let him
The flesh is
keep
knit.
that up. Although I am noticing that that does actually deal base damage, so I could probably just use that as an attack
As
option
victories
and
mount,
ignore the
so too will
fact that I'm
resistance.
losing out on bleed damage. I probably shouldn't have brightened my torch just before opening that bag. I don't remember where darkness starts improving loot chances, but I don't think it's quite that early. Oh, another obstacle. But a lot of empty rooms. I do have another shovel, right? Yes. Good. Alright. When should I camp? I suppose I'll camp in that farthest room there. And I'll be able to have the torchlight gain be at its most efficacious. As well, it's going to be dark for those two curios as well. Which means I'll get even more loot out of them, potentially. Well, if they are loot-type curios, which it seems one of them is. Interesting meditator. That's a very specific buff. Well then, I guess I'll drop the brightness
Secrets
down
and
to 0
wonders
before
can be
opening it.
found in the most tenebrous corners of this place.
Then nothing, no point. Well, time to make camp then.
A moment of respite. A
See, I
chance
don't
to steel
particularly
oneself
need wide
against the
healing.
coming horrors.
I don't need healing at all, or stress relief. Simple camp. No need for anything special. Now then. Since we're going to be going up the snake, guaranteed. Very useful. There's no point. Let's see. No point in preventing nighttime ambush. Well, let's just buff this. Because I believe the snake enemy at night has armor. So that's useful. Let's abandon hope. And then see, we can encourage her. That seems fine.
As the light gains purchase,
Ah,
spirits are lifted
alright.
and
Ah,
purpose
it's
is made
stealth
clear.
that that one has. Alright, shield bearer.
and
Shield
cries,
breakers, scarred from past
lost in
trauma.
the
She must
darkness.
navigate a series of 7 flashback battles while camping, 1 battle per camp. Once these battles are completed, she can camp peacefully forever. 7 flashbacks are shared across the whole shield breaker class. You don't have to do 7 battles for each spear breaker. Yes, I do remember that. Shadowy appearance and cannot be hit by direct attacks, but are vulnerable to area of effect attacks. Additionally, some heroes, such as shield breakers exposed, can hit them while in stealth. Yes. Alright then. I assume these... Oh, they have protection. Interesting. I wouldn't imagine items like... Or, not items, but enemies like this to have protection. Well, I may as well try and curse them. May as well reduce their dodge chance. As well as protection. Oh. Is this only during the nightmare? I would certainly hope so. Well then. At least there's bleed. Oh. At least there's a chance at bleed. Let's see. You protect me. Let's see. The blight resistance is far lower than I would have imagined, honestly. Let's give it a try. Yes. Yes, for snakes I was expecting them to have much higher blight resistance. My entire team is taking quite a lot of damage. This is the point where I need your big heals, occultist. Not these small ones. I would very much prefer to get this stress out of the way. Oh. Darn. Perhaps I can apply vapors? How much blight damage does that do? It's not really worth it. Looking at it. Should probably kill this one first. It seems to be the most dangerous. 4 points of bleeding? So as long as I get a 5 or better. Oh.
Struck.
Or a 9. That's sufficient. Now then, let's get some good heals.
Sedated.
I didn't need that. I didn't need that in my life. This fight is very dangerous. Alright. That one's not going to die of the poison very easily, but this attack is far too high damage to waste on it. So I guess I'll take the extra damage for a more efficient fight. That is a very unfortunate point. Well then, let's try and keep this antiquarian alive. And hopefully the occultist can have some good heals.
Perched at the very precipice of oblivion.
Please crit better next time, occultist.
Teetering on the brink, facing the abyss.
This fight is not looking up. Alright. Well. Hopefully I can kill in one, or else she may die. Although perhaps the impale is the better route to go down, because it lands a near guaranteed kill on that snake. Survived. Oh. Did I beat it? Or was she about to die? Can she not die in the nightmares? I'm assuming that's a failed nightmare then. This poor team. Alright. Curio. So that means the final quest location is in the last room.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Poor team. This is necessary at this point. Alright. I was hoping for a critical. No such luck. Alright.
As life ebbs, terrible
Back to
vistas
Death's
of
Door.
emptiness reveal themselves.
Alright. Ah, finally a good heal.
A hand's breadth from becoming unwound.
This is a very dangerous situation. Well, anything to get yourself off death's door. Yes, hit them all. Oh. That was unfortunately just not enough. Well, time for the Antiquarian to land the kill shots once again. I don't believe... No. I haven't seen the final room, so there could be another fight in there. Alright. Forwards you move. And this way... she can throw her spear again and attempt to get multiple kills. Okay, well... Or I can simply attempt to punish these to death. Very fortunately, I haven't had any ill effects of my shield breaker hitting maximum stress. I wonder why that is. Yes, nothing once more. Unless she has become less accurate because of it. Oh, she's less accurate because of a quest for some reason. What is this quest? I can assume what it is, but I've never encountered it before. To give you some restoration. He bled himself again. Alright, well, let's bring you up front. It's a lot easier to deal with you when you can only do bayonet jabs and rushed shots. Okay, spread the healing as well. He's going to die in short order anyways. Ah. Interesting. That wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I assumed that she might have some sort of special negative effect. No, it's just simply shouting at the enemy. Huh. I guess it is just abusive. Moving into the final room. This must be where the final altar is. Ah, and brigands. Ah, you're useful once again, Flagellant. Let's exsanguinate. You haven't had a chance to use that skill? Oh, not very useful. As it turns out. let's bring you forwards. You're virtually useless in close range. It's one long-range stab. And let's try and finish you off with some poison. Good. No worries here. She can lunge back to the front position anyways. But she necessarily needs to be in the front position for this. Don't imagine too much trouble coming from this fight. I've practically already won. May as well just pile in as much damage as possible. The brute is almost dead. I do wish I had applied that bleed earlier, but
Their cursed champion falls.
no negative consequences for me so far. Purified the altar, and now I return to the hamlet.
Beacons in the darkness.
Satisfactory completion, and I'm very pleased with this collar. And once more busts, but nothing else. Alright. No interesting benefits either.
The shuffling dead are silenced.
Right.
We have claimed dominion over the ruins. Once
Probably
more.
go to the ruins in my next quest. Well, for now, I'm going to get everyone stress healing. See about upgrading anything. I don't think I can. No, I don't even have any crests which are required for any upgrades. So, get everyone in for stress healing. There's a fair amount required. It's a very stressful dungeon. Yes. It wasn't particularly dangerous, it didn't seem like, but at the very least I made it through. Right. Well then, this is it for me. I've realized I should probably start raiding, but I don't have anyone that I am particularly close enough to start raiding them. So, as is usual, I'm just going to end my stream by wishing you well, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.